Thank you for joining me for another episode of Raynor Shine Sales TV. It's Matt Raynor. And today we get to talk about the number one killer of deals, right? Every day we're all trying to go out there and close deals. And one thing in particular, more often than anything else, is out there trying to kill the deal. And that number one thing, that number one killer of sales deals is time. Time kills deals. When emotion is high and you have someone interested, the last thing you want to do is to let someone think about it. Time inevitably allows someone to second guess. It allows people to consider other offers. It allows people to get other individuals, other stakeholders from within their organization involved or to get and gather their input. Time allows people to take what maybe at one point they were thinking was the logical course of action and put it on its head and go in a completely different direction due to time. Budgets change because of times. Initiatives and objectives change because of time. Circumstances can change, people can change because of time. So the longer time goes on around a deal that you are trying to close, the greater the chances that it does not come to fruition in the way that you had originally hoped, if it closes at all. This is why ultimately urgency is the greatest weapon that you can utilize in closing deals. Urgency provides you a measure of control that you have to use when trying to close deals. It allows you the opportunity to maximize the resource of time by compressing the decision making and objections into a much shorter window, while minimizing the chance that outside factors could derail the deal. By introducing urgency into a deal, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to close, but it greatly reduces the amount of factors that can go against you, including the number of people that need to be involved. If you hammer home that need for urgency on that discovery or sales call to that individual that you're speaking with, inevitably he or she will not see the need or have the time to get other thought leaders and stakeholders involved who in theory could shut that deal down. Urgency also ensures that you get to the final result as soon as possible. So whenever someone introduces the idea of needing more time before they can sign off on a deal or accept a deal, please keep in mind that end result of a deal closing in your favor becomes less and less likely to happen. If there is interest, if you have that sales meeting, sales proposal, and you determine coming out of it that there is some extreme interest from this prospect to close this deal, you must act immediately. You must act now. So here's what you can do. For starters, you can set expectations up front. Tell them what you can expect from your service and from this process, and ask your prospect, what can I expect in return, right? I'm giving you this, what can I expect to receive in return? It shows the client or prospect the kind of relationship that they can expect to have with you throughout this process. Relationship being the key word, right? We've already spoken in a number of videos about relationship selling. And setting expectations up from the start leads you down the path of relationship selling. You could then ask the client or prospect, are you okay with telling me no? The summary of that, the idea of that is ask the client up front. If this is not going to happen at any point, just let me know. It frees up the communication lapse, right? So now when you don't hear from, instead of not hearing from them for weeks or months or years and you have no idea what the hell happened, this creates that comfort level to where they're going to be much, much more open to keeping that communication and dialogue open with you throughout the process, even if it's not good news. And that's ultimately going to save you a lot of time. And as of course the title of this video is, the number one killer of deals is time. The next thing you need to do is you have to summarize every conversation you have in an immediate post-call or post-meeting email. And this should not be a canned response that everybody gets, right? That every single one of your prospects or clients get immediately after a call. This has to be tailored specifically to that individual, covering everything that you discussed, pointing out the key logical next steps. It's going to make them feel like they were understood and that they were heard, which goes a long way in creating that relationship, right? The moment your prospect or client thinks, oh, they are hearing me loud and clear, they know what my challenges are and what initiatives I need to undertake, they're going to listen to you. They're going to look at you as that trusted advisor. So summarize every meaningful conversation immediately after the meeting with the logical next steps will go a long way in helping you act now. And the final thing you should do is to take a little bit of a backwards approach to the deal. Finding out from the onset of all the decision makers or signees of the contract will only help you along this process. So don't be afraid in that initial discovery call or sales meeting or proposal presentation in asking them, does finance need to be involved in this? Does procurement need to be involved in this? What other stakeholders need to be involved in this? The best way to take advantage of this is when you have that initial cold call or cold outreach, whatever it might be, that leads to this discovery call. Find out immediately, ideally prior to the call, okay, who should all be a part of this call? Are you the ultimate and final decision maker? Are there other stakeholders involved? It allows everyone to hopefully get on the call together. Then you can address all the concerns and questions that might come up immediately, as opposed to having that initial call and then finding out a month later that, oh, Sally from marketing has these questions or concerns, or Bill has these questions or concerns, and that's only going to muddy the water. That's only going to add time, which is going to ultimately hurt your deal. Okay, thank you for joining us for this episode of Raynor Shine Sales TV. Again, it's Matt Raynor. I want to thank you for being a part of this video. I want to remind you, if you haven't already, to please smash that subscribe button, check off that bell so you can receive notifications in real time. Follow us on all the social media channels at It's Matt Raynor, and we'll see you here tomorrow for our next video. Take care.